Siyambonga uMbuyisi uNqaleza uNdima uSondisa uMvemnyama ozalwa ngoManzana oKhumalo oMtungwa oMdletshe ngalomazwi ndithi welcome to the state of the arts with uThami Akambongo. Today we are looking at Minister Nathi Mthethwa, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and the role of our President Cyril Ramaphosa. As you know, since COVID-19 has started, we've seen quite a number of deaths of artists that have been passing away since this COVID-19 started. And it's been really tough for many artists because our industry is still in the lockdown phase. Though other industries are widely open throughout South Africa, our industry is still stuck. It's still on level 1, and the events are limited to 2,000 people. And that is making the artists really struggle, and also the event organizers, including sports. And the question is, what is Minister Nathi Mthethwa, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and President Cyril Ramaphosa are saying about this? In their defense, they might say that they have done enough in terms of covering the arts and culture sector because they've released the first relief COVID fund, second relief funding, and the third relief funding. But I know the cultural and creative industry in South Africa will raise some concern because not everyone did manage to get the first and the second wave. Even many cultural and creative industry practitioners and organizations, up until this day, they're still waiting to get their third relief funding. And then the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture also announced the Mzansi Golden Economy. I know there are many artists and organizations who are still waiting for their contracts. There are many who have submitted their contracts and have not been paid. And there are few who have been paid. The question is, why is this delay when the artists really need this funding? And then you'll remember President Cyril Ramaphosa gave us the Presidential Employment Stimulus Program, PESP, which was given to entities like National Arts Council, National Film and Video Foundation, and others. And we know about the 300 million mismanagement that was happening at NAC. Up until today, the NAC has not wrapped up that entire project. And then we know throughout the 9 provinces of South Africa, there was provincial relief funding. And that relief funding, if you look at the time frame of this COVID-19, it was started 2020. And most of these provinces were giving maybe artists like 5,000 or 10,000 or others more. But the question is that enough? That one relief funding that was coming from the provincial departments. And then the minister announced a wellness program by the name of SILAPHA.
The Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Minister Nathi Mthethwa, has launched a virtual platform, SILAPHA Wellness Intervention Program. Minister Mthethwa says he took a decision to create a platform for South African cultural and creative industry practitioners so that there is an open engagement on addressing wellness challenges in the industry. These would be inclusive of depression, legal, financial management matters as a proactive rather than reactive intervention, he says. The Minister's spokesperson, Masitshaba Khumalo, joins us now. Masitshaba, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So how will SILAPHA work as a program?
Thank you so much for having me, and good evening to your viewers. So basically, the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa, has launched this wellness intervention program today. It is called SILAPHA, and we launched it at the State Theatre. And to date, the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture continues to identify opportunities for basically designing strategic interventions that are intended to empower the creative sector in advancing its offering to the broader South African society. As we know, artists and athletes have gone through a very rough patch, are still going through a very rough patch due to COVID-19 and health regulations. We are facing a demon that we don't even know. We could never have preempted this. And the sector literally shut down. It's shut down, and artists have not been doing well at all. Neither have athletes, especially artists, because they can't perform in large numbers. They can't make the money that they're used to making. And this has taken a mental toll, a financial toll, psychological toll on artists.
But how will it work? Will there be a database of sorts, and will artists, athletes, etc., have to be accredited? As in, would you have to be linked to a local body so that you are recognized?
So basically, the objectives of, first and foremost, the SILAPHA program, it's two ways. SILAPHA, as in we are here for you, and SILAPHA, as in we are healing. It's got a four-pronged objective that is to be delivered. And through this program, we will include provision for comprehensive wellness intervention program for the cultural and creative industry practitioners and the athletes, to activate a platform for artists to access health and dealing with wellness management matters, namely lifestyle, substance abuse, mental health, financial, legal management, to educate those with a desire to enter the industry about how to deal with and overcome the challenges of being in the creative industry, and to empower practitioners with information on how to own their craft through and through. So how it will work is that there will be a toll-free number that artists and athletes can basically call for any of these supportive structures that I've indicated. And artists and athletes simply need to log on to www.bac.gov.za or www.srsa.gov.za for more information.
How will it be regulated? And just try and help us understand here. So whether, say I'm a prospective artist, would I qualify for that? How do you ensure that the system is not abused, that the people who actually really need the services get them?
Well, there will basically be a three-tiered approach to serving the industry within these 5 value chain services that will be active in serving the sector. Right, so the first tier is critical incident stress management, the second being disability, the third tier being legal support. And one of the things I think that we don't speak about enough is the fact that the department has been supporting an initiative such as the Time Festival, for instance, that focuses on disabled artists. We've been committed to this for the last 3 years. It's become one of our flagship projects. And artists such as Ndate Baksimlangeni are part of it. The department, I believe, has been sponsoring about 3 million rand a year towards this initiative. And in terms of the regulation of it, there is a service provider that has been appointed to ensure that artists are able to reach the department and are able to get the access to the support services that they require. And we will continually, as we've been doing, update the public through statements and also just making sure that we keep the media appraised when it comes to this program.
And that's the Minister's spokesperson, Masichaba Khumalo.
Yep. That was Masichaba Khumalo, the spokesperson of Minister Nathi Mthethwa. I don't know how many times I tried to listen to what she was saying, but I'm not getting a sense. Even the news reader, from SABC, was really struggling to really understand what is it that they are meaning about this SILAPHA project. And then later on, the minister announced he's going to have what is called a minister advisory team, which amongst the roles, they will be also looking at this wellness program. Let's go and check out what did our minister say when he was launching the minister advisory team.
Now, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa, has set up a ministerial advisory team, or MAT, for the creative and cultural sector, who will advise the minister on how to deal with the plight of creatives during COVID-19. The appointment comes as the nation is under enormous strain due to COVID-19, and it has also hit hard the creative and cultural industries in their various forms. Sharif Baker is member of that ministerial advisory team, and he joins us now. Very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Baker. Before we get into how this matter is going to be structured, has there been a study done or some preliminary findings into just how bad has the fallout been for those in the creative and cultural industries?
Good evening to Peter, and good evening to the viewers and the listeners. Yes, we have done some extensive homework, preliminary homework, before engaging in the task that's been set out with us to understand the plight of everybody in the creative sector. And now that we've got an understanding of the challenges that lay before us, we can now put together solutions and resolve moving forward to the specific work streams and tasks that are at hand.
Okay, so are you, as I say, able to provide us with figures or just, give us a sense just how bad? We know it's bad, but is there an indication of how many people who would have been employed or found revenue streams within the sectors are now out of the system, or, just a clearer picture if you can, please?
Sure. So firstly, allow me to say that the minister has put together this advisory team as he has suggested, but we are actually the ministerial creative and cultural task team, because we're looking after tasks that affect the sector rather than an advisor just specifically to the minister or the department. We are here to speak on behalf of the sector, but joining hands with the department to try and resolve. Over the last year has seen a lot of ups and downs with regards to facts and figures, speaking to the exact rand value and body count to our sector. But I can tell you, both directly and indirectly, our industry has been impacted to more than between 700 and 100,000 people, up towards 1 million, and impact from the GDP close to the 50 to 60 billion of the GDP has been affected to our economy. So the numbers are very harsh. We always knew right from the beginning that our sector would be the heart, and now we can actually see the ramifications thereof. Thus, I think the minister has now realized he's got so much on his hands that he needs to hear our voice as a sector and needs assistance in trying to get the work done, primarily to look after our sector and keep our sector alive.
I really do appreciate that picture, because it helps to know what we're working with, especially when we talk about the work that Matt has to do. I believe that's structured as per 5 work streams. Please tell us a little bit more about that. I believe it also involves banking and landlords' portfolios, school fees, etc. Tell us more about it.
So some of the most fundamental challenges sit in our laps. Let's put aside the challenge of everyone trying to get us back to work and reopen our industry and our sector, whether it be via vaccinations or rapid testing, which we are working very closely with the South African Events Council. But more so than that, we have challenges that are every day as in school fees, and our parents being harassed by schools by insisting on payments, and our children being harassed. Your father doesn't pay your school fees. That type of challenges and harassment is real. So that is one of the work streams that we're attending to. Another work stream we're attending to is the private and corporate sector, where especially, for example, within the telcos, where we need assistance for communication. So we need some form of direction with regards to data, whether it be capped or free or whatever the case may be. We need something there so that our sector can communicate, not just from a business point of view, but also from a loved one or a family perspective. The third work stream is to look at the retail and transport sectors, where we are in desperate need of fundamentals of everyday food, whether it be hampers or baskets from the retail sector, as well as transportation between provinces or even local, whether it be Patco, Ria Vaya, or that type of scenario. We need that type of assistance, and that's one of our engagements. The fourth engagement, the fifth engagement that is very close to the minister's heart, is the wellness of our sector. not just from a mental wellness or well-being, but also from a business perspective, so we can understand moving forward as we come out of this. And we have to be positive here, Tsipi, so that we are going to come out of this. It may take some time, but we're going to need help. And that's one sector that's very close to the minister's heart, is the well-being of our sector,
so very quickly,
and the constituents that fall under the creative sector.
So quickly and finally, how do you anticipate setting up the work streams? I believe that will be the overarching responsibility of your advisory teamwork.
So how are we going to address this? By virtue of us being appointed as a task team, letters of appointment have been issued, and we've been given line officials that work specifically in the department that will be able to link us for. So, for example, with the schooling sector, directly with the Department of Basic Education, the sector that I'm specifically heading up with a group of professionals is the banking and the landlords. So from a landlord's perspective, my line official within the department would join me up with the people from COGTA, the Ministry of COGTA, and the Ministry of Human Settlements, that are the custodians of the Rental Housing Act. And then when it comes to banking, we can speak directly with the Banking Association of South Africa, but as well as Treasury and the DG and the DDGs and officials from Treasury. So the link is already there that the Minister has put together. So much so, the Minister has been so much on the task team's back to make sure things are happening at a rapid pace. Not that, oh, let's see next week and let's have a meeting. Okay. We have been given action plans and timelines and datelines to make sure that we can come up with answers for our sector sooner rather than later.
Thank you very much, and hope to catch up with you in the midst of that project to get feedback from you. Sharif Baker is member of the Ministerial Advisory Team for the Creative and Cultural sector.
And just to fill in those who might not be aware, on 9th of March 2021, the minister appointed about 7 people at the time, and these are their names and their organization that they were coming from. Sharif Baker from SACIA, China Mpololo from SAMIC, Joy Mbewana from SIFSA, Noziponguse Dlamini from Sisterhood, Gabi Leroux from Tumsa, Lara Foot from Theatre Dance Employers Association, Tobela Dlamini from SACPO. Please note, Lara Foot resigned from the team. The reason I'm not quite clearly why. But you'll also realize in this team, they were given a different task, as it was mentioned. One was supposed to work on school fees, legal and stuff. But 2 of them were meant to work on the wellness program. It was Joy Mbewana from SIFSA, and it was also Noziponguse Dlamini from Sisterhood. So now, if the minister did launch this SILAPHA project, and in that launch, I remember that Joy Mbewana was in the discussion panel, Gabi Leroux was also in the discussion panel with minister when he launched the SILAPHA. And then later on, in the minister advisory team, we saw some of the members that are also in the industry. The question is, do cultural and creative industry practitioners and organizations in this country really know the work that is done by SILAPHA, really know the work that is done by the minister advisory team? I took it upon myself. I've written to the department, I've written to all the members of the minister advisory team to ask them, where can one access a progress report or the work that they are doing? Before I went live on this show, they did not respond, did not even acknowledge the email that was sent to them. The question is, while we are seeing artists that are suffering and dying every day in South Africa, while the industry is still in lockdown, do you feel that Minister Nathi Mthethwa, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and President Cyril Ramaphosa are doing enough for the cultural and creative industry? Do you think the political parties are taking the cultural and creative industry serious in this country? Do we have cultural and creative industry desk or arts and culture forum or desk in all these political parties? It is time for the South African cultural and creative industry practitioners and organizations to change the language, to change the way, if they want to see the real change in this country. Enough is enough. Kwanele, genoeg is genoeg. Now is the time for the cultural and creative industry to realize that the department, the minister, the president is not taking this sector serious. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please subscribe to our channel, like or dislike, comment, let us engage. This is the show, State of the Art with Tami Akambo. Danko, I'm out.